This is Victor Torres of the KUNM Youth Radio Project. I'm here with Tara Ford, a lawyer from Pegasus Legal Services for Children. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you for having me here today, Victor.
I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you decided to do this interview, and I think you and other people will get a lot out of this interview, so thank you for coming once again.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself and just say a little bit about you and what you do and just the basic stuff that you
Okay,
can.
great. My name is Tara Ford, and I'm a lawyer at Pegasus Legal Services for Children, and we provide legal services to children and youth. We provide civil legal services, so we don't work with kids who are involved in criminal issues.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit, like, personal things you like to do, if you don't mind, like,
Sure.
what you like to do as well?
Sure. So I have 4 wonderful children that range in age from 9 to 23, and they're all girls. And I'm married to Stephen Adelsheim, and other personal things. I love to read, and I like to go hiking and be outside.
Oh, well, that's good. And as you know, I love to read too, so
I do know that.
we already have that in common as well. So is there anything, you said you were a lawyer, of course, of this legal services for children, and is there anything significant in your life that led you to that point of working with children?
Yeah, that's a really good question. When I was a kid, I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, and my grandmother lived here in Albuquerque, and I would come in the summers and spend my summers with her, and my grandmother volunteered with children and youth who were in foster care. And every summer that I would come down, we would visit with some of the children that she worked with, and there was one young man in particular that I was able to meet with her every summer for a number of summers. And I think one of the things my grandma really taught me was that I could just be friends with this little boy. We were just friends. But she also helped me understand that it was really unfair that he had to go from house to house and live with different families, and he didn't really have a home. So that was really important to me as a kid growing up. And then I went to UNM for undergraduate school. I went here. And when I was in undergraduate school, I worked at an organization called Peanut Butter and Jelly Therapeutic Preschool. And that organization works with families that are really struggling to stay together. And a lot of times when kids are in state custody, they get lawyers. So even the little kids that I was working with would have lawyers. And I was worried that the lawyers sometimes didn't have a lot of information that they needed to have when they were advocating for kids, and so I decided to go to law school.
Okay, that's very great and inspirational, and I'm glad there's lawyers out there like you and others to work with children and get that part of the society to help them with their daily lives.
Well, and it's really important for kids to be able to have a voice, especially when courts are making big decisions about what should happen in their lives.
Yes, I agree. And over the years, I don't know how many years it's been, probably about 3 or 4 that I've known you, you've given me a lot of encouragement, including many others. And what would you say to other youth to encourage them to if they're struggling or just want advice? What would you say to them?
Well, one of the things I think is really important is for adults to be honest about the fact that we all struggle when we're learning things, and life can give us some hard issues and some hard things we have to work out. And so, it's important to get the support you need, and that a lot of times there is help out there, and sometimes it's a lot closer than you think, and that you'll get through it, that you find ways to get through it, especially paying attention to what you're good at and what's meaningful to you, and it's important to kind of keep moving through. I actually was a young single mom, And I had a lot of people who really gave me support and encouragement when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And as a result, I was able to go to law school, and now here I am representing children and youth, which is really meaningful work, and I feel really privileged to do it. But I wouldn't be here if I didn't have a lot of support.
Yeah, and also a lot of help, and to see what you really need help with, and don't be ashamed to ask for help and anything like that. So I think that's good encouragement, and that's probably what I would say to other youth is don't give up, keep on going.
Right.
What have you seen change in the society all over since you've been working with youth, since you've been representing them?
Well, I think it's a really exciting time to work with young people. I think that young people are mobilizing, that they are finding public forums to influence policies that impact their lives, and I think in that way it's a very exciting time to be working with young people. One of the things that I worry about is that right now in our society, where a lot of people are really worried about resources, and when we have less resources and when adults are really struggling, a lot of times that means that the needs of children and youth are not being met as well as they are when we feel like we have more resources.
And because it affects them when they don't have resources to help them in their life. So I get what you're saying there. And on the other note, that youth can now speak out. That's why I love this project so much, because it does give me and other youth a way to speak out. So that's why I'm glad I got to join you here today to do this interview.
I think it's totally exciting that this project exists and that you guys are able to have this kind of an impact.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I've been loving it so far, and I just hope that continues, and I know you'll be working with other people to continue those projects and helping youth and all that. So I'm glad you do that. And this is a big question, but it has a meaning, a different meaning to a whole range of people. And but what does social justice mean to you? What's your definition, kind of
social justice?
Social justice.
Well, that is a really big question. You know, I think in my work, what I hope to promote is that we find ways to organize our communities here in New Mexico so that we really can foster positive, respectful connections with people, that we really are able to develop good connections with each other in spite of our differences, and sometimes actually promoting and celebrating our differences. And so that's what's important to me.
So when you all work together, you're saying you get more done and all that around the community and around the world, right?
Right, that we all benefit when everybody's doing well. I think that's really important.
Okay. And is there anything else you would like to add at concluding this interview? Is there anything you would like to say that I didn't cover that came to your mind in the other questions?
Well, I've had the pleasure of working with Victor, and I know that Victor has a very strong self-advocacy voice, and I also know that he is deeply committed to advocating to make things better for other young people. And so I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm just thrilled to be able to watch you grow in your own advocacy efforts, because it's a real pleasure to know you.
Thank you. And you, as you know, I've come a long way in my advocacy, and I think it's a lot because you and Gail taught me to be tough but still try to work with people to get things done, and so that's what I try to do.
I really look forward to working with you in the future.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Victor Torres with the KUNM Youth Radio Project. I hope you enjoyed this interview and got something out of it, and we will see you soon. Thank you.